You are now entering the box. All right, welcome back to Inside the Box with Jeff Dillman and Cress Maddox with Masco Packaging and Janitor. Is that what, I thought it was supply products. For some reason.
It's industrial supply.
Okay.
But it's a little bit of everything.
So tell us a little bit about Masco.
Well, we can probably tag team this, but Masco's a female family-owned business. It was incorporated in 1996. We cover probably a 150-mile radius from our territory. 60% of our business is packaging, which involves foam, bubble, corrugated boxes, tapes, stretch films. The other 40% of our business covers janitorial products, floor equipment, which would encompass toilet paper, roll towels, chemicals, can liners. What else, Cress? All kinds of stuff.
Anything that your facility would need to basically operate.
So basically, I mean, really, it feels like to me you're selling convenience almost. You know what I mean? Like you don't got to go out and buy all the stuff. You bring it there, got it, ready to go.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's kind of what's different about us. Most people are either one or the other. They're either packaging or Jansen.
Right.
So with us being both, we're kind of like you just said, a one-stop shop. We can do the warehouses in the back with the degreasers and the cleaning products, and then all the way up to the front to the copy paper, trash bag, toilet paper, paper towels, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's nice. I know it's a pain in the butt going out and when you're a business owner, you got other stuff to do. You know, right? Go out and shopping all the time for your business. So what's your guys' positions at Masco?
Chris?
I'm a senior sales rep.
Nice.
And I'm the general manager.
Okay. How long have you both been with the company?
I've been there forever. It's family business.
Yeah, he's part of the family.
I've been in and out of the business since it started. Really, I started delivering there when I was in high school, and then on and off through college, delivering stuff. Kind of working in the warehouse, then got back from college and started sales position, and then so I've worked there.
Nice.
20 years sales.
Where'd you go to college at?
SIU Edwardsville.
Okay.
Went down there, played soccer down there, and
I always joked around. I was like, I almost went to Edwardsville, and I was like, it's probably better I didn't. I probably would have got a DUI. I was got to drive everywhere down there.
Yep.
I went to a small town where I could walk everywhere. That's funny. So, how long you been with?
It would be my 9th year coming up in March. It's
wow.
kind of it's really it's flown by. I spent a 20-year career in government, and I got a little bit of everything on my background from former regional manager at Terminex with a little over 15,000 employees, and then I took a few months off and found this family to work for, and at my age, best decision I've made. It's been a fun 9 years. It's hard to believe it's been 9 years, but we all love what we do, and we love it when people buy and shop local.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
That's awesome. How'd you get into sales? Is that what you were just interested in doing, or that was what was needed with the business, or
kind of both? I'm the youngest of 5, so I'm used to being around a bunch of people and always big crowds. Lots of people.
Are you guys all working in the business?
No, my oldest sister Jennifer is, and then myself. My other 3 sisters, the middle 3 are not.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
So just used to being around big crowds and lots of people, and kind of just got used to.
When did the business get started?
96, I believe. 1996.
96. Okay. So not like crazy old. How did it come about?
It's a good story.
Do you know?
Kind of. In 96, my dad started what was maintenance. It's called Maintenance Supply Corporation, which is our sister company.
Okay.
And Maintenance Supply is a janitorial service and window cleaning company. So they come in, you leave the building, they come in at night, empty the trash, vacuum, clean, disinfect, sanitize, all that type of stuff. When you come back in, it's ready to go for the next day. Then they do commercial window cleaning, repelling buildings. They do residential window cleaning.
Hanging off the Wyndham or whatever.
Yep. And those guys love it. They love doing it. Then we do residential window cleaning and gutter cleaning, power washing, stuff like that. So that's how that started. And then my dad said, instead of buying products from another company like Masco, why don't we just start a company that can sell directly to this company?
Yeah.
So then those two work together, and that's kind of how Masco got started.
Nice.
Yeah.
Keep it in the loop.
That's where we are today.
Self-sustaining loop there. That's right. Supplying and utilizing. It's amazing when you look at some companies out there how when you start really looking at what they're doing, like big companies, that's what they do. You know what I mean? They kind of start building their loop of, so they keep giving. It's like Amazon now; they're shipping their own stuff and delivering it. And it's just it's interesting, and making their own products. And but it's obviously it's the way to go if you can.
Yep.
So man, you guys, I feel like you guys have been out a lot in the I guess public, you could say, public eye lately. You guys got a lot of stuff going on.
That's what we like to hear.
Been doing the Salvation Army stuff. I know you brought one of those by to us. How many of those did you deliver?
It was probably in the 30 range,
Nice.
And thank you, by the way. And as you can see, it took a team to make that happen. And we just recently got an award yesterday on the most kettles put out for the year. So, we want to thank everyone that stood behind us. And I'm blessed. The fact is that ownership allows me to get engaged and be involved in the community. So to take that time to do that away from, the current position in Masco.
Yeah.
But we're all about that, being involved in the community. Say everybody says you're everywhere. Well, that's good.
Getting out there,
Masco's everywhere.
I mean, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, you do.
Somebody has to in the business.
Yeah, I agree. And then we're all engaged, from Jennifer, our president, to Cress. Everybody's engaged somehow, some way. His dad just recently got inducted to Springfield Sports Hall of Fame.
Nice.
So, and Cress is a former. Well, he's in the Hall of Fame as well. So we all get involved and engaged. So every one of us.
For what sport?
Soccer.
Nice.
Yep.
Is that what you played also?
Yep.
That's awesome. Soccer's a good sport, man.
Yeah.
Not getting too beat up out there like football.
No.
You got to be athletic.
Well, American
though.
football. Yeah, you got to be able to run.
You got to be able to run.
Not the best runner ever.
I'm done doing my running.
Yeah,
I did
I'm not
that when I was
running.
younger.
I'm definitely not running. So that's for
So
sure.
you're telling me your daughter plays? Your kids picking it up then from you? Enjoy that?
Yeah,
That era?
they're all kind of involved in a little bit of everything. She does soccer, traveling soccer. She's actually, her volleyball team's in regionals right now at school, so they got a good chance to go to state and win state. She qualified, or she got fourth in the 400 of the state track last year.
Oh, geez.
She wrestles, she sings, so she's kind of she does everything.
Got
My
a
son's
full plate.
oh man, it's all over the place. And
Sounds like it gives you a full plate also.
If
It
you,
is.
you look at one of his things on his little topics that we put down, was that he's all over the nation with his children.
That's
because
crazy.
they're very active. I mean, I was always impressed with that.
yeah. So they all are. They're all doing it. And then my youngest is 4, so he's just now starting. So
Nice.
I have a
You
long
got 3? Is that
4 total.
4. Wow,
Yep.
nice. We got 3 and under.
yeah 3 and under.
Yeah, 3 and under. So it's interesting.
I bet it is.
Yeah, so I got a 13 and then a 4. So it's
got the
kind of
range.
We already the 13-year-old's kind of getting past all of it. What you think she's got to start narrowing down and picking sports instead of doing all of them,
Right.
because there's just not enough time. And then the 4-year-old, he's just starting. So it starts
Crazy.
all over again.
It's an interesting time, especially with 3 of them, all toddlers running around.
What do you got, boys or girls?
Boy, girl, boy.
Sweet.
Yeah, so got the 2 boys on the outside to protect the girl. We're ready to go. They'll all be in high school together for like a year, I think is what I figured out. At
That'd
least
be cool.
1 year they'll all be in high school together.
Yeah, that's nice.
So that'll be interesting. But we just got him signed up for T-ball. He'll be his first time doing anything.
Thriller.
Yeah, so that's exciting. But it's, one of the things I worked really hard for early on. I'm glad I did. I don't know how anybody starts a business with kids, because I was working 12 to 14-hour days, back when I first got started. Now I couldn't imagine doing that with a kid.
You can't really, unless you want to see them.
Yeah, if you just don't want to have a relationship with your family.
Right.
So it's I'm glad that I kind of got past that step before we ever had kids.
It doesn't slow down.
How about yourself, Jeff? You got
No children. We have a puppy. He's 4 years old. Otto, the boxer dog, as we call him. And
that was my first kid, Nova.
but we obviously both love children. That's why I serve on another board that is involved in family services on placement of children that needs homes. But love children. We play with the neighborhood children. So we've got nieces and nephews. Of course, they're all really growing up now. So. But we're probably looking at adoption. We've been talking about doing a private adoption.
Oh yeah, I remember you mentioned.
Yeah,
that
so I think that's something that my wife and I are, hopefully this year we'll start rolling in, because I'm at an age where I need to do something, or I'll be dropping my child off at high school, and they'll think
Shit,
Grandpa's
or get
dropping
off
them off. Yeah, or Grandpa's dropping them off. You know, I don't want that, but I may be there already.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's all right. Might make for an interesting dynamic.
Yeah. Well, a little story about that. In high school, I had a friend, Jim, and his dad was 78 years old, and we would always make fun. It's terrible. We'd make fun of him, say, "Is that Grandpa dropping you off?" And at first we didn't know it was his father. But he, had him at an older age, and now here I'm in that position.
Yeah. And that's kind of unheard of, like, back then. Now it seems like more people are having kids, like, later.
Yep.
So I think it's a little, but that's why we just kind of banged them out.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to be, I want to be able to play with kids, and it's either that or we're adopting, and they're like already 13 or 14.
Yep.
So you just jump right into.
Well, that's the way to do it. So.
Well, that's exciting, man. Yeah, that's interesting. We talked about it at one point. I was like, it'd be kind of nice to give like a kid a
absolutely
a chance or whatever.
Absolutely.
Someone that's in a more unfortunate situation. But now we're just overwhelmed. I think that's out of the question for us.
Yeah. Well, and it is. I can't imagine. You're trying to run a business. I look at all the activities I'm involved in, my wife's involved in. It's like, do we really have time?
Yeah.
You have to make time, obviously, but we look at that. It's like, well, you want to make sure you have the time, but you do have to make the time, set it aside. But that's something we're looking forward to.
Nice.
So
that'd
yes,
be
sir.
cool. So you said 150 miles?
About 150-mile radius. So
I had no idea.
Yeah, so give you an idea for us, we'll go anywhere, first of all, and we'll ship out of state as well. So we're a manufacturer and distributor of liquid ice melt. So it's kind of like what you see highway brine put down on the highways. We sell a product like that traditionally goes, we will ship that out of state. That's a lot of unknown. People don't know that we actually manufacture that and sell that here in Springfield, Illinois.
Wow. Interesting.
But we will go all the way, currently we go all the way to eastern Illinois, all the way towards that area, all the way south to Effingham. Cress has been in St. Louis with several accounts. We'll go to Litchfield, Hillsboro, south almost to St. Louis, as I said before, and then all the way west to, Quincy if needed. We usually stop around the Bluffs area right before you cross the bridge before you get into Pike County.
Yeah.
But we service probably over 175 schools. Healthcare is our big thing. We have over 13,000 dispensers up at Carl Hospital. We got SIU School of Medicine, and the list goes on. We always don't want to really tell everybody who we have because obviously
we got people coming after you.
we got our targets coming after us. But it is when you look at where we are today, and it's because of the family support and because of Cress and our sales team and really our entire staff. We're lucky to be where we are, and we're continuing to growing. But we are cautious and careful to know that we may have a small recession coming. We don't know, but we're prepared for that. We recently just got in a magazine in our business and distribution business. We got selected as
it's like an industry magazine.
It's an industry magazine, and they picked good old Springfield, Illinois, and
nice.
And our business out of all the distributors throughout the U.S. So that's kind of an honor. I mean, we kind of threw that out on social media because it is an honor. From the hard work of the family of starting the business to the team itself making it happen, because it doesn't happen with one. It's a team, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think our social media presence, quite frankly, was mentioned, that we are all over the place, and we're trying. We're trying. I'd say outside the box is what we're trying to do. We're trying to think outside the box.
Yeah.
What can we do different? So we want to be different than our competition, and we are. And that's something Cress can touch on, and what makes us different than the competition by what we do.
Well, and I think the pandemic had a lot to do with that.
Absolutely.
It still has a lot to do with it. It hasn't gone away just because the pandemic's
gone. As far as like how you guys are doing things differently.
Yeah, how you do things differently.
Yeah, had to change.
Who wants to see you? If you can still go into facilities, if people are still working from home, or if they're so there's just a lot of.
What have you seen? If people are those still like points of contention out there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Before it was very much routine. You knew people were going to be there. You knew you could show up. You knew you could walk in the building. You just knew what to expect. You could plan your days out much easier. Now it's kind of. People might be working from home because they got a sick kid because now they can, or they just so it's much. It takes much longer to accomplish things than it used to.
No, that's true. And you look at we don't like calling millennials because there's a lot of people. I'm old, so I'm not a millennial, but But when you look at the younger ages, they're doing what everyone else does, computer. They don't want to see you in person.
Yeah.
But he is right. And, the pandemic has changed that, and it's still that today. It could be an excuse. I don't know. It's hard. And in our business, you want to get in front of someone eye to eye because,
in sales, in
exactly,
general, you want to try to.
I mean, we're not, we carry it a little step further. You need toilet paper. Yeah, you need roll towels. Yeah, you need can liners. We're going to focus on sustainability and show you ways that you can save money by, let's say that you're buying toilet tissue and you think, yeah, it's great. I'm buying it. It's wonderful. We roll it out. It's 800 feet, but you think you're getting 1,000 feet. We're selling you 1,000 feet for a lot better price. So we don't believe in what we call cheaters in our world, but there's a lot of cheaters in our world. But that hurts us where we can't get in front of people because now they're just like, yeah, whatever. I just want that. I don't care. I'm not going to change.
That's right. Kind of like when if you go someplace and buy a case of toilet paper, you think you're getting a great deal for $25.
They always measure it so differently too.
And
they do.
So many sheets, so much roll. Like,
they do.
I'm like, I don't know what's going on here.
And that's the only thing that you can really measure by is a measurement, which is feet.
Yeah.
So sheets don't matter because if they're this big and you have 1,000 of them, well, it's about the same as 5. So that's we try and break that down for our customers, like hospitals, dilution ratios with chemicals, because each gallon doesn't produce the same amount of end use glass cleaners or disinfectants. So we really try and dwell down on that type of stuff to differentiate ourselves from everybody else. Instead of just saying, here's our price and we lost. Well, we might not have lost if we drill down and get it to the foot.
Really broke it down.
Really break it down and show them, say, actually, we're saving you 30% or whatever it may be. So I think we're pretty good at that.
Yeah, we just recently had a discussion on like hand soap, for example. So we can tell you that we'll have 12,000 pumps come out of one of a case of our hand soaps. And the customer says, well, mine's better than that. Well, we have data to show that it's not. So your output may be a little different, maybe less or maybe higher, but we have data through our manufacturing that helps us with this is saying, wait a minute, we can get it down to 6 cents a pump, where you're paying 12 cents a pump.
Oh, wow.
So it's really at first I thought 9 years ago, this is weird. Why are we doing all this?
Is that what it costs for a pump of soap?
Yeah, well, no, not necessarily. It depends on what type of soap
what's
you
going
have.
on around here.
Well, you better not put a sign on the wall. But
no need to wash hands.
But it's interesting when you look at like can liners. So you're dealing with a can liner like most business owners do. We don't care.
Yeah.
But when you deal with healthcare, when you're looking at sustainability, less to the landfill, you dissect that down and you look, like you said, we get deep into it. Maybe that can liner company's weighing the box at 12 pounds. That's fine.
That thick cardboard.
Yes, exactly. But that's fine, but you're not getting a true measurement. Like your mill and Mike's, that's what we measure by. And let's say you're buying
weight of the bag, right?
Exactly. And you're buying a 2 mil bag, let's say. And then we do a micrometer and we measure it and it's a 1.4. Mm-hmm. And you think you're getting a 2 mil, you're paying a 2 mil price. Now, that's where we really get down dirty. That's what's been impressive for me in my 9 years. I've seen Cress in the warehouse roll out toilet paper with a customer.
No,
I've seen it.
I'll give it to my kids.
Yeah.
We'll put them on a broomstick and they'll run them down.
It's happened.
They'll run them down and see which one's longer.
And you should see the look on their face.
That's what you need to be doing for social media, man.
Yeah, there we go.
People would find that hilarious.
Yeah. Well, we might be doing
it. It's a race.
Yeah. We might be doing that on our little podcast. We're trying. But
people find that hilarious.
But yeah, it's some people do care, some don't. When you say we're all about buying local, man. That's what it's about. We're a local family business, buy local, shop local. So when you're looking at a competitor, a big box store, and you're buying toilet paper, there's 232 sheets in this big mega rolls that you're getting. You're getting 30 of them. That's 6,000 sheets. This is where we can bore you, but we can save you. You're spending $40. You look at us, we've got 80 rolls, 502 sheets, 40,000 sheets, compared to 6,000 sheets, and we're charging you maybe just $5 more. How many of those are going to take to buy us? And that's really when we get down to, you think you're buying local.
Got your numbers down.
Yeah, we do. We do. Because we say this. It's almost like we're preachers in this business. I mean, I don't want to compare myself to that, but we talk about this all the time, but we have a passion, right? We have a passion, and that's what we talk about.
Yeah, you got to know.
Well, you have to. Yeah. If you don't, you won't win.
You won't win.
I don't mind losing fair and square, but I don't like getting cheated.
Right.
It's kind of like my whole thing. So
spin it differently and then
like dwell times for disinfectants.
Right.
People think you spray something down, wipe the table, COVID,
and
or whatever, it's done. Not necessarily true at all. So there's different dwell times. So you've got to be able to really talk about it like in a hospital and say, this is a 1 minute kill claim for COVID.
Yep.
So this surface has got to be wet for 1 minute to get a kill. If it's wet for 10 seconds, you aren't killing. So you can transfer viruses and germs and stuff like that. If you aren't up to date on that type of stuff, you can really mess up.
Yeah. Huh. So where do you? Is it the manufacturers that are like training you on all this different stuff?
I was just getting ready to say that is one thing about us is ongoing training, and our manufacturing reps just do that. So we're heading down in April for another manufacturer training, and then Cress and I will be going to Jacksonville, Florida, to one of our shows. It's called the DPA show, and that's where we'll learn more.
Is that the one you said you're speaking at?
We'll be speaking at that one as well. So, and then we're going to ISSA. That's our show in Las Vegas in November.
You guys need any help on that one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Actually, it's funny. It's funny because we've started our little podcast. We had a manufacturing rep, a vice president of company, reach out and says, we want to do a live podcast with you at Las Vegas for your show. Well, we're not all serious like you are. We want to be like you. We probably need to hire you, obviously. But yeah, so ongoing training, and that's very important in this business. So we're just not order takers, right? We have to know what's going on in the world, especially with healthcare, because healthcare, they, when you talk about sustainability, right, Cress, you have people in the hospital. That's all they do.
Right.
They're looking at ways to go green, cut cost, whatever it is. So we have to stay up on the training.
Yeah,
we have wonderful manufacturing reps.
Huh. That's crazy. I mean, you never think like so much. I don't know. I guess thought has to go into it.
Right.
Exactly. Right. Well, that's sometimes part of the problem because you try and tell people this and they're like, all right, enough's enough.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about
I'm buying toilet paper. This is what we're doing.
So you got to find a way to kind of tactfully get them interested in it and say, hey, I can help you out.
That's
if
crazy.
you want to make the sale.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
How has what year did you say you started doing sales? Like after college? You came in, and what were you about? Was that
probably 2005, let's say, roughly.
Okay. Yeah. How has, I know you said it's like things have changed, people aren't always in office, stuff like that. Is the sales, have you found that it's like harder then because of those things?
Yeah, and you have your Amazons, you've got your online ordering, you've got
so
very
like increased competition along
correct.
with it.
Just the ease of the competition has made it really easy to be competitive, whereas before it wasn't quite as easy. But now it's pretty easy. That's why we have our website, online website ordering site, going to be live coming up. So that'll help us out.
I remember you telling me about that.
Compete with them, but it's definitely gotten harder. Like I said, it's just so easy. I mean, how many times you get on, click something and buy it now and have it show up every day. But, I mean, it's
and sometimes it's more expensive, and I'm just like, I don't got to go to the store. Like,
exactly. But you said it earlier, convenience, right? So when we look at the big box catalog, which we don't want to mention them, but we look at the big box catalog that everybody uses, is convenience. But guess what? Masco packaging can provide the same convenience. As long as we know what your ordering habits are, we could have it and have it here tomorrow just like they do. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we try to stress. The sell side it changes. I mean, it does. You are fighting Amazon. You are fighting all the big ones because of that convenience.
Yeah. I was talking to someone the other day, and they were saying how it's been really hard to get to hire a salesperson.
Yep.
And I think something that's happening with a lot of businesses now is you obviously still need a salesperson to manage the accounts, do stuff like that, but a lot of things it's changing to the way that what did I say? I said maybe you don't need a salesperson, maybe you just need better marketing. Because someone said something to me once. They said, how did they put it? It was something along the lines of basically like, if you have good marketing, then the sales, then you just need someone to answer the phone, basically, which was kind of an interesting concept. Now, obviously, you still want the customer interaction and being able to talk with them and finalize sales, give recommendations, stuff like that. But I think a lot of businesses like that, like you think of Wayfair, like they're not selling furniture.
Right.
They're just marketing everybody else's furniture, which is kind of interesting. There's so many businesses like that now.
Right. Well, to that point, I mean, they don't have sales reps going out knocking on your door saying, "Hey, you want to buy a couch?"
Right. They're
just advertising.
Yeah, exactly.
Marketing.
It's really weird to look at that, and there's so many businesses like that I've realized. And Wayfair, a long time ago when I was buying something from them, I realized how their process worked, and I was like, "Man, this is just a marketing company. This ain't
right." Well, one way his dad, when I first started 9 years ago, his dad built a company was eye to eye, face to face. Right.
Yeah.
I mean. the biggest thing is we're problem solvers. I think we always forget to say that is we're there to take the order, but we're also there to solve a problem. Just like today, he was at a nearby dealership that had an issue with the floor. Mm-hmm. And so right before he came here, that's why he's in the sweat box. He says he literally was showing a customer our product and demoing it on their floor. And what'd you get, Cress? A wow factor? It worked.
I mean, they bought it. Nice. So, but it solved the problem. Their floor looked like.
I got a problem with my floor in here and need some input.
We can help you. We can help you. But that's where we need to be. We do need to be. The e-commerce site's coming out. We've been working on this for over a year.
It's exciting.
And everybody keeps hearing it, but literally just had a conference call Friday. We're doing a test pilot here. It's coming out the 1st of March. And then April 1st will be live for everybody. That
feel good about it?
Yeah, it feel good.
It's a scary step.
Yeah, excited, scared to death. Not sure what to expect, but we are told that we'll give a bump in the business. It will highlight things that maybe our customers didn't know we sold.
Yeah.
That doesn't always necessarily say the salespeople are bad. It's just that you have so many SKUs, and enough's enough. We try to stick to our core products, but with the website, that's going to allow us to have convenience.
People can see what other stuff you have.
So it'll be it's a little scary.
It's over 400,000 products.
Yeah, over 400,000 products. Yeah,
so it's
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So
but I mean, it's everything from, like, I was on there messing around. I said, we can sell Mentos. I didn't know that, but I mean, it's got candy.
We can sell you candy,
Mentos,
coffee. We can do it all. I mean,
so like, what would that typically be like for vending machines or something in an office?
Well, yes and no, because some people just have an open form where they just have the box sitting on the counter. You pay by an honor system.
Yeah. Huh.
Not that we want to get into candy business.
Are either of you guys Office fans? The show, The Office?
It's been a while.
Okay.
Yeah,
there was one point where the sales, they were launching a online like store where they were like trying to push all the customers to order. So the salespeople got into this competition with the store, and I don't know, it was, that shows how that show goes, but it was hilarious.
Well, we hope we don't have that.
It just reminded me of the way you were talking right there. I was like, oh, Chris can be competing with the online store.
Yeah. We really don't know what to expect outside of the research we've done and the meetings we've had. It should help grow the business. Nearly they average 20%. And we're dealing with a company that's kind of interesting that is he used to be a wholesale distributor like we are, and said it was enough is enough. There's a need in the market for someone to build an e-commerce site that's going to tailor towards the business that we do.
Yeah.
So we launched our new website with LRS a couple years ago, I should say. And now, we've been working on this ever since, so we're really, really excited. But
cool.
Like I say, don't know what to expect, but we're excited.
That's good, though. It's good you're taking those steps, embracing technology. So many companies try to fight technology, hold off. I mean, even us still, sometimes we get pushback on social media.
Yeah.
People like, oh, we've been doing fine for 30 years. I'm like, all right, well, what about the next 30?
Yeah. Well, and something sticks with me. What was it last month that you did that presentation for a local chamber?
Oh, yeah.
And you sat up there and you said it's a little harsh, but your business needs social media to survive. If you don't have social media,
you will go out of business.
You will go out of business. And at first it's like, wow, that is harsh. But, we've been talking about this and talking with people. It's reality. Mm-hmm. It really is. And, you have to, once again, we think outside of the box. We call it outrageous marketing. How are we going to think outside the box and be different?
Yeah.
And that's why.
I mean, it's good you guys do that. It's so many businesses try to take things, how do I want to put it? I guess maybe too seriously when it comes to social media. Like, hey, just lighten up, man. It's going to be okay. Like, loosen up on the video. Right. Like, have a little fun with it. Roll out some toilet paper across the floor, whatever, What were you about to say there?
Well, I think that there's more that goes into it than what people think, too.
Oh,
social media. They think you get a line and you post a picture on Facebook or whatever and you're done.
Right.
It's a
There's
full-time
way more
position.
that goes into it from, start to finish to get everything in on social media, get all kind of connect together. I think that's where it gets overwhelming.
It's tough,
for people.
man. It is.
That's
it's
where you
very
come in, right?
overwhelming.
Yeah.
Well, that's where that's where we started. I mean, when I started this business, I thought I was just going to be producing videos for people, and I'd produce a video, and then someone would be like, "Well, what do I do with the video?" I'd be like, "Well, put it on social media." Well, how do I do that? I'd be like, help them with that. And then they're like, well, how do I get more views? And I'm like, well, run some ads on it or run a campaign. They're like, well, how do I do that? And I just quickly realized either business owners didn't know how to do it, didn't want to do it, or just didn't have time to do it. And I was like, man, they need help with everything. And that completely changed the path of the business. We started just offering, full service. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's funny when you listen, when you talk to, being in the community, you talk to a lot of people and they tell you, like, one says you're posting too much. One says you don't post enough. One says you need to post 3 days a week. One says 5 days a week. And then some people are just hit and miss.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's all over the place. You can tell that, once again, why I guess you're doing what you do is they need an education and understanding. I mean, I suppose you can oversaturate. Yeah, I suppose that could happen, but
I don't. So I used to think like that. I don't remember if I mentioned that in the talk, but I used to think that you just need to post once a day.
You did mention that,
and because you didn't want to flood out that post. Once you post, you want it to get out there, people to see it. But the way that the algorithms have changed, I honestly think the more you can post, the better. Like, because
really?
I mean, 2 to 3 times a day, 4 times a day.
Really?
I think that the people that are going to see it are going to see it. And then what you do is if you're posting that much, you're putting out a shitload of content, you're going to see what content works. You're going to see what people react to. Like, I guarantee you, if you roll out a roll of toilet paper across the floor to measure it or whatever, like, you're going to get way more interaction probably than just a regular whatever post. And then what you do is you take that piece of content and now you put maybe you change the wording a little bit, turn it into more of an ad, and then reuse it. And then you put ad money on it or whatever you want to do, their ad campaign behind it. And it's like testing. I mean, if you just keep pushing content out there, it's like testing. Yeah, what's working, what's not, what people are reacting to, what they're commenting on. And on top of that, having a balance, like some content's more engaging, some content's informational, and just kind of picking all that out.
I think we've noticed that we talk in the office. It's like, it's funny, you put something up about maybe a can liner and why can liners are so important and how you waste money and you get so many views, so many impressions. And then you talk about floor machines. It's like, floor machines got like doubled it, tripled it. It's just, it's strange. I mean, when you look at it, it's like, why is one topic, is it the time of day? I mean, I don't know. Is it the time of day that we do?
Is that how the algorithms work? I mean, how do the algorithms
Yeah, how do they work?
Well, now they've changed it to where it's very much interest-based. So on Facebook, it used to always be that you would get information based on the pages you like, the people you follow, like what some of those people like, stuff like that. Now they're starting to feed you stuff that might not even be a page you like. Like, you probably see stuff that says suggested for you. They even tag it.
Yep.
So they'll just start suggesting stuff to you, and they just look at what you interact with, what you like, as opposed before it kind of had to be like you almost had to search it out a little bit or see an ad and like it.
Right.
So the more you're putting stuff out there and that stuff becomes successful, well, if some piece of this piece of content you put out might be relative to Joe Schmo over here who watched something else about floor cleaners or something. So now it's like, oh, this is suggested to you. You might like this piece of content. So it's turning more into like a interest based. And the reason they're doing that is it keeps you on it longer. If you keep feeding people stuff, and they got it from TikTok. TikTok kind of changed everything, the way that these algorithms are working. So if it just keeps feeding you stuff that you want to sit and watch and listen and take in, then it's going to keep you on the platform longer, and therefore their data is better and their stock goes up, ads, all that stuff.
It seems like you're being followed. When you look at something, all of a sudden it pops up.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how they haven't been busted for audio, like listening. They're listening. There's so many times. I'm like, this is very clear.
They're probably listening now.
This. We just talked about it. I think the other day I was talking to somebody. I hardly ever talk about soccer. And somebody said something to me about soccer, like, we'll probably get one when we leave here. But and that little soccer camera popped up. It's so weird. Now, could that have been because they're targeting somebody with kids and Facebook recognizes they have kids? Maybe. But it was weird that I haven't got hit with it before.
Yep.
So what else is going on? You're part of Local First, part of the Chatham Chamber.
Oh,
you guys got all the memberships.
So currently,
it's hard to keep up with it all.
So currently serve on the Greater Springfield Chamber of Commerce board. That was one of my bucket list things I wanted to do.
Nice.
I was past Ambassador of the Year 2018-19, Chairman of the Ambassador Group of Greater Springfield Chamber of Commerce. And then Chatham Chamber came and said, hey, you want to come in and help us build an ambassador program? So we built an ambassador program there of 12 solid ambassadors that are involved in the community. Past president of Local First.
Seems like they're really, I mean, pushing to get things rocking and rolling.
I think you can probably honestly see the momentum there. The momentum is it's on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. It's a small community, just not because I live there. It's a small community that's really engaged. When you go to a meeting and you have the fire chief, you have the police chief, the assistant chief, you have the village president there. You don't see that in some, a lot of the smaller chambers. You don't see that when you're looking at the surrounding communities. Local for Springfield, and once again, it's what it's all about. I mean, it's buying local. So past president of that, actively involved in membership drives there. I mean, as far as capacity I've served on enough. I shouldn't say enough, but I'm done for right now. I've got enough to do. Plus, we've got a lot of things in the works here at Masco. Masco Packaging. We've launched a university program, what we call a university. So our first one's March 28th.
And
it's training basically. So we thought, let's do something different. We see these road shows before the pandemic. Let's just do it. We've got enough talent between ourselves and our manufacturing reps.
So is it training for the businesses you work with?
For the businesses we work with, or potential businesses. So like our first one's going to be stop spreading the soil, spread knowledge. So many people are using mop buckets and spreading the dirty water all over the place. So we're going to come in with a technique and show the professional's going to show us that how to do it right, and then how to choose the right fluorochemical, and then how to choose the right machine for the space that you're cleaning. So that'll be our first session.
Nice.
And so far so good. We got a good turnout. It looks like we're shooting for 50 people. We're going to do it at Masco in house, and then if it gets big enough, we'll take it out. Then our second universities, I don't remember dates precisely, but our second university is going. That's coming. That one's going to be floor equipment. So once again, just strictly floor equipment, how to choose the right machine. For instance, you can buy a machine that's too big, you can buy a machine that's too small. So we're going to get you in the right size, the right fit to make sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck. Some of these floor machines can clean 15,000 square feet and up.
Yeah.
So it all depends on what you have. Our third university is going to be what 60% of our business is. It's going to be box, so basically packaging with our box manufacturers, and we're going to tie that into void fill, which is Rampack, one of our companies we use that shows you that if you got just what it says, you got space in the box, and you need to make sure it's filled so your product don't adjust. So we have a product that we sell, through a partnership that will show you how to utilize recycled paper and get rid of peanuts and foam, which are being outlawed. The peanuts are being outlawed in some states out east.
It seems like it's always those inflatable bags now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we've got our broker that's coming down that we deal with. That's going to be showing you the right tapes, the acrylic tapes, the hot melt tapes, what tapes to use for your box, and what types of stretch film and all that to use around your product. And then our fourth one in December is going to be strictly on can liners. So right size, right fit, right price. What is interesting in this business in my 9 years is that it's a can liner. It's sold as a commodity, not anymore.
Right.
You want to add to that, Cress? It's just not sold anymore as a commodity.
I think a lot of people are still selling them as commodities.
They are.
We are trying not to. So we're trying to show you. I think a big thing is, like I said, going back to COVID and people and the lack of people. And the lack of, you need more equipment because they don't have as many people cleaning. You need the right product and know how to use it to get the job done correctly.
Right.
You need the right can liner. Instead of buying one that's too thick or too big, get one that's the right size so you're not wasting your money. So we're trying to, I think it's efficiency is what we try and help people with too, is really just, we're trying to get everybody to be efficient. Instead of just buying stuff to buy it because you think you need it, let us get you the right thing. The right size, like Jeff was saying, if you have too big of an auto scrubber and you can't clean this room, should you just got a smaller one so you can clean the whole building?
Right.
So stuff like that. We're trying to, if you got to spend less money but do a better job, we're willing to do that. We're not just trying to sell you the most expensive thing to try and make a sell and have you not be happy. We're trying to make you as efficient as we can.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I guess in comparison, I guess we kind of do the same thing. When I think about it, I mean, we never. I always tell people, like, I'm in the business of growing business, not putting people out of business. So
You've said that.
So I'm not. I don't want to. I don't want to sell you something you don't need. You know what I mean? When it comes to social media channels or advertising or whatever, I probably am to a fault from like trying to, upsell clients or whatever. Like I probably don't do it enough to a fault almost. Just like I've had people tell me like, well, tell me when there's an opportunity like that. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, all right, well, sorry. Because I just don't want to feel like I'm always trying to get more out of them. You know what I mean? So it's, I just got to think about that more and be more strategic with it.
Well, you want to earn the trust and the respect, and that's the same thing we do. You walk into a facility and they're using 2, maybe 3 bags in a can. It's like, what are we doing? Well, they're leaking. So we're going to show you that maybe you won't use the same Miller mic, and we'll get one that's not leaking anymore.
A little more mill on
that. But
thing.
we'll engage and bring our manufacturers will come into the facility and do a study, and it's free.
Wow.
They'll come into a school cafeteria during lunch hour, the heat of the moment, and really, dissect it down to say, first of all, you got 7 can liners, you got 7 different cans. You really only need 2 or 3.
Filling these all up.
Yeah, but a lot of times custodians think, well, I need a different size. When we'll come in and show, whether it's the school superintendent, the principals, whatever, we'll come in and show them, like, we can save you money right now. Because what we hear the most, because we listen in sales, we hear that, wow, if you're dealing with a college, our enrollment's down. We need to save money. Bingo. That's the first 2 things we hear. And what do we do best? We do really good at saving people money. You can't win them all. We know that. But we give them hell to try to win them all. That's for sure.
It's interesting.
And we all have a passion. We love what we do. I mean, that I think that helps too. So
yeah, gotta like it, man.
We do.
So you guys are definitely knowledgeable in it. So you got having that data down. I mean, it seems like that's very important. In any industry. Honestly, I'm probably not as on top of. When I was first getting started, I definitely always had the data of like. This age and these percentages on these platforms, and I don't like. What am I trying to say? I guess I don't. I haven't used it as much. Like when I'm talking to people, I haven't had to use that data as much until like we're actually looking at it, and I'm like, all right, what's going to be best for this person? Then I analyze like current data. But that's interesting stuff. I wouldn't have thought there's so many things to think about when it comes to that.
Nobody does.
Yeah,
no, that's why we try to educate. And when I think 9 years ago, it's like, so just go buy your toilet paper. Who cares? But now it's as we say, a dog eat dog world. And you really gotta look into it. And when you have a passion for something like you're going to come out with that passion, and you're going to be sincere, and then you just scratch your head like, what in the hell? What? You're still going to just do that, even though we've had a situation where we came in and showed a facility, Cress, $35,000, maybe $50,000 savings, and they said, no, we're not going to switch.
Really? Did they just not believe the savings?
Well, the savings is in front of them, so I don't know what the answer is because we really never got an answer. But
that's frustrating.
That happens sometimes.
Those are the ones that suck.
Yeah,
because you're like, we got this.
It's like why?
Yeah, just not at this time. We're not ready to make it's like, man, you think you're like, we got this one. This is a done deal.
What I think makes fun about this position is when I looked at this 9 years ago is. You consider there should always be growth. You don't want to be overconfident, but there should always be growth. Mm-hmm. Why? Because everybody uses toilet paper, everybody uses facial tissue, hand soap, hand hygiene. So and when you look out here, we have so many, over 13,000 businesses in Springfield, Illinois. We don't have all them. We don't have all them. We'll never have all of them. But look at the opportunity that the team has. The team can knock on every door and have an opportunity.
But that goes back to like we were just talking about. Sometimes, everyone says we buy local, we're part of the local groups, and
right.
Everybody says how much like local support they give, and in all reality, we can go knock on their door and say, hey, who are you buying your boxes from? Oh, are they local? No, they're out of Chicago.
Yep.
Well, we can match the price or beat the price. Why wouldn't you? It's just, I don't know. We don't want to change. It's just, we've known him for a while.
They're comfortable.
But, they just preach this local thing. But
they advertise it. I buy local. Mm-hmm. I shop local.
Right.
Every $100 spent locally, $58 stays in the community. That's strong, and that's that's some data that's out there.
Yeah.
That's one thing we looked at Local for Springfield and we talk about. But we do have these conversations all the time. It's like it is what it is, but I don't understand. You're not buying local, but you're advertising you buy everything local. It's frustrating. It gets very frustrating.
Yeah.
Especially when you can show generally, 80% of the time you can show a cost savings. It's a high percentage you can show a cost savings, and that's where just now I guess you just you might close the door and yell and scream, but you just scratch your head and walk away. You just find somebody else. But I guess
maybe they'll come back around. Wait for times to get tougher.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So you keep going back without being annoying. It's that fine line of it's like, hey, we're still here.
The
but
little
I don't
touches.
Yeah. So you got to kind of
the sales process. Yeah, sales is. Yeah, I hate ever feeling like I'm annoying somebody. You know what I mean? Even when they're like, follow up with me in 30 days. I'm still like, 30 days is up. All right, I guess I'll give them a call. Just doing my due diligence here as a business owner.
Yeah.
Anything change?
What do they tell you in sales? Yes is a yes, a no is a no, a maybe is a no.
Yeah.
I've heard that all my life in sales. It's like, well, he said maybe. That's a no.
Yeah.
Because he just can't tell you no.
Signature.
And that's one reason why, with the sales involved, this change, like Cress was mentioning, is it's harder to, are you really getting an honest answer? Because I can't look at you in the eyes, But, I guess the nice thing about us is we can leave our card. We can leave that we did it in a professional way, that if you ever need us, we're there for you.
Yeah.
So that's the thing,
that's
too.
That's kind of what I said before, too. Like, you just got to wait. There's at some point, the bad interaction or the bad something, or maybe they are like, dang, now I really need to look how to cut costs, And as long as you keep having those touches, you just hope that somebody comes back to you. I mean, that's happened to me several times as far as like, I've met with somebody like years ago, and then they're like, oh man, I saw your video or something. I think we should revisit this, or you know what I mean? And it wasn't even for me touching. It was, it was just luckily putting stuff out there and them seeing it. But
we'll never burn bridges.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
What they always tell us. Don't burn bridges.
Cuss them out and walk out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Just do that.
Save you.
Do that when you get in the vehicle. Do that when you get in the vehicle.
Well, that's tough. Yeah, I mean, I guess it would just be existing relationships or something. That's all I could see there.
Well, I think
they have
so.
Like a strong existing relationship or a friend or something, and like I'll pay a little extra to help my buddy out.
But what we have to do in sales too, we get back in our vehicle and we look at we'll look at ourselves in the mirror. If we're together, we can look at each other. What did we do wrong? Mm-hmm. Maybe our swing wasn't right. We have to do that in sales because sometimes it is us. It's our approach.
Yeah. Well, I think too, it's not their checkbook.
Exactly.
I mean, if I'm spending
not
your money,
making the choices,
who cares if I'm spending a little bit extra money? It's your checkbook.
Yeah, I'm not getting a bonus here. For
yeah, let's give you an example of the big box catalog. So we're dealing with a business over in Decatur, Illinois, and I said, what's it going to take for us to get your business? And we're helping you out, but we'd love to have more of your business. We understand respectfully that you may have somebody you like in the industry, and we get that. That's what we want from you. But what's it going to take? Because we know, I get a free grill if I buy so much. Well, what do you got to buy to get a free grill? Well, it's $3,000. I'm like, maybe I'll just go down to the hardware store.
You want me to buy you grills? We're talking about here. It's like $200.
Hey, true story. I'll go down for $79 a Weber grill if you buy from us. No, I want to get my points up so I can get the grill.
I like that weird
Not
stuff.
the business owner, but trusted on buying the supplies.
Yeah, interesting.
But, I was ready to go buy a grill.
I'll
give you the grill right now. I didn't need no points.
He was going to get the hot dogs.
I'll throw in the hot dogs.
Yeah, I'll even cook them for you. What the heck?
Funny. Yeah, that's interesting, man. I've never been in like, I'm trying to think how. I've never been in a position of like, I guess like, I don't know. I say that this business I've been very, I guess, fortunate in the way that a lot of my clients I've had to sell them, but it's more like typically they've came to me for one reason or another. Someone recommended them, or they saw content we made. I guess it's kind of that good marketing, and then have the sales. But I've never been like in a position. I guess when I was delivering newspapers back when I was like 10 years old, 13 years old, going door to door trying to sell newspapers, but not like going to businesses, knocking, having to go through the whole like cold call process and stuff like that. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever been like in situations like that. So it's kind of I try to think about how I would handle that, and it seems like I always come back to, I'm just going to put out another video.
What's different? It's like, car sales.
Yeah.
You go to the car salesman and say, hey, I want a car.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't usually come to us and say, hey, I want can liners.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to go tell them, so it is a different sales process or approach if someone's coming to you looking for stuff all the time.
Well, it's educational too, because you'd have to say you have to really understand like what does that company do? So you have an understanding. So you can at least, we always say in sales, you're a chameleon. You have to be. But, you also have to, honestly, heartfelt found, you have to understand what that company does so you can at least go in and talk a little bit intelligently to understand.
So how do you, if you're profiling, a company to go potentially sell to, do you, take a look and, try to analyze, all right, they have this many people, they probably have this many trash. You know what I mean? Are you, thinking about that stuff?
Cress, do you want to cover that one, Cress? I mean, they're all different.
Yeah, they're all different. But lots of the, we'll do, industrial. See a big warehouse, lots of cars. I'll walk in the side door or the back door. This is definitely
not the front door.
Yeah, not the front door.
Right.
Side or back, go in the back and see what they're making. And literally walk in and go, what do you guys do here? And somebody back there, all they do is, run a press and making a part. And they're like, oh, well, I'll show you. And then they don't talk to anybody in their whole 8-hour shift. So they're like, come on. So they show me around the whole facility, and you go back there and go, man, they use all kinds of stuff. So lots of times I'll do that.
Interesting.
And that's the most fun because I don't know what I'm walking into, but you walk in and you go, holy shit, you guys make all this stuff here? Mm-hmm. And they're proud of it because they're making it. So that's a good way for me to go in to some of these
You've
businesses.
been successful with that because if you walk in the front door, the gatekeeper's going to stop you.
Right.
You walk in the back door, you can ask for
we're
forgiveness.
giving away secrets now. Maybe I shouldn't ask.
You can be thrown out of the back door. That's happened to us as well. But
you can't be afraid of that, right?
But a lot of times it'll allow you to kind of see what the customer's using to understand. I mean, really, it's when you go in the back, you can have an understanding. Cress does a really good job with that. He may have an understanding before he walks in, but then he goes in the back door and we do care though. So it's just not like we're doing intelligence.
Yeah.
But we do care because we want to help watch your business grow.
Yeah.
That's what we're all about.
Well, if you know at least a little bit of data, then you can it makes it that much easier to discuss the benefits with them or how you could save them money, whatever.
Yeah, and you don't want to be deemed as just a salesperson.
Right.
Because like I say, we're a lot more than that,
Well, I know for us, I guess it's probably easier because the businesses are purposely putting stuff out there that you're going to see. So I'm like, that person had a billboard, they ran a commercial.
Right.
I heard, I don't ever listen to the radio hardly, but sometimes I'll turn it on just to see who's advertising on there, seeing what's going on. And it's crazy. I'm like, God, I can't believe this person's paying this much for. I know what billboards cost. I've bought them before, and yeah, I mean they're out there and they have their place for certain things, but and it also depends on what your budget is. If you have a big budget, then throw a billboard into your marketing mix. But when you think about it, it's I cannot believe people are spending, $1,200 a month for this one billboard that's gone next month or whatever. It's just.
But I think
crazy.
the problem with billboards is you always say McDonald's, the sign, turn right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, in advertising that billboards, they put too much on.
Right.
You're not going to see it because you're driving down the road. So if you're going to do a billboard, I guess it's changed. I was selling radio, way back and it's changed so much. And I've seen the decline. I'm not saying radio's not needed. That's not my position to say, but it's got its place like everything does. But that has changed quite a bit. When you look at a 60-second spot, what you're paying for it. And you really got to have a branding campaign to really even be noticed. And, you're going to spend a ton of money on a branding campaign.
Yeah.
But, you have to. You have to some form of advertising. As we all know, the first thing that people do is what? They cut their advertising.
Yeah.
Their advertising. Whether it's you or whatever it is. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy that people think that way. I mean, I guess we put out some content based around it one time. When things are turning down, you want to be the person that's getting seen, man, that's out there. Yep. And usually a lot of times advertising is cheaper at that point too, depending on the platform. The thing that's a little bit frustrating with us is that, obviously the radio station, they kind of, most of the money they get to keep, whereas we have a budget that gets paid directly to Facebook or whoever it is, Google. So that part always kind of sucks from that standpoint that you kind of have to, that money gets funneled off. But we always break that down though. We're very straightforward. It's here's your budget that's getting spent on actual ad spend. Whereas most of these businesses, if you go to one of them or if a salesperson comes to you, I mean, I don't know if you're ever in the office when people come trying to sell, Google advertising, they'll say oh yeah, give us $500 and you'll get this many impressions on Google. well, they tried to sell me that one time at another one of my businesses, and they didn't know that that's what I did. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, how much of that money is actually getting spent on Google? And they're like, well, it's not. It's just that's how many impressions you'll get for that much. And I'm like, yeah, but you have to pay Google. So what's their cut? And what am I paying you? I was like, I understand you guys have to make money off of doing this. So I just want to know how much is going to them, how much is going to you, and I'll decide if that's a fair amount for the impressions. And either they don't know or they won't tell you.
I may not get the lingo right, but you always hear this is like, well, you're not coming, your search engine, you're not number one. Yeah. We can get you to number one. Never. You hear that all the time. I think you might have covered that in your discussion.
If anybody ever tells you that we'll get you to number one on a search engine, you can never guarantee that. Yeah. You could pay to be the number one in the ads. You know what I mean? That you could do, but to say I'm going to get you to number one on Google it's never guaranteed. You just don't know. Now, I mean, over years of like really diving in and putting blog posts and keeping your site updated and doing backlinks and all these different things, yeah, there's a pretty good chance that you can get to number one, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of money. Yeah. It's also crazy what some of these companies charge for like ongoing SEO. It's nuts.
I was gonna say that can get pretty expensive, can't it? I mean, like,
and I don't know. It's weird because a lot of times when I meet a business that's paying a lot of money for SEO, I'm like, well, what are they doing? And they don't know.
What's SEO?
It's search engine optimization. So when you build a website, you build the site to be optimized for search engines. You want your pictures tagged, you want your text properly tagged, you want the proper keywords throughout the whole site. But if the person is not adding to your site or updating your site ever, there's nothing else. Yeah, there's nothing else you're doing.
Right.
Like there's nothing else. You can't say I have ongoing SEO if you're not updating anything or changing anything. If they're not. Now, if you start doing blog posts and doing what's called backlinking, which is like, say, so a backlink would be like if you guys had a blog on your website and you made a post about being on my podcast and you linked our website in that blog post, that'd be a backlink. As you get your website linked on more pages, it helps you
reach out to more people.
Rise up. It certifies, it helps like legitimize your business on Google and you become, more of a source or whatever. So that would be like a backlink and that helps you.
It is interesting, the SEO rating, because I know going through the whole website operation it's all graded. So, but I don't think you'll ever be 100. When you look at a scale up to 100, I don't think you'll ever be 100. I think some of our pages are 82, 86.
There's a lot that goes into it.
But a keyword, like you said, just a simple little keyword, and like instead of a trash bag, or maybe you say trash bag instead of can liner, what we say. Mm-hmm. It was amazing, just a little tweaks of just the verbiage.
If the company that's doing it is researching that, I always say like, okay, you call it a trash bin, but 90% of people out here searching and typing trash can. Can we say trash can on your website? Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I have that conversation with people, and sometimes they want to, and sometimes they don't. But obviously, there's some sacrifice there.
I think I was more angry. It couldn't be to 100.
Well, and then also like sometimes someone will come to us and be like, "Hey, our website's not ranking well in this search thing that I ran on it." And I'm like, "Well, what's the website that you ran it through?" And half the time, the website you run it through is a website that's now contacting you to sell you. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not very good. It's like,
definitely need to upgrade.
So it's tough.
I got a sucker here. He's going to buy.
Just show him a shitty percentage. So what's up? What else is happening over at Masco, man? You guys got the university going. You guys got the podcast you're doing?
Well, we started the podcast. Fun. And honestly, that I guess you're our mentor. So we look at budgetary wise right now. It's something we probably not in position to do. Maybe forecast would be. So we just sat around, said, Cress and I sat around, because a lot of times we're just sitting around putting things off one another and banging each other's heads. But we just said, let's do a podcast. One particular individual in the office didn't tell me this, but told some of the fellow people, that's a dumb idea. I don't know why he came up with that. Well, it's just kind of funny. I won't ever say his name, but he knows who he is. But we did the podcast, right? So we did it, and it's raw. That's what you want them to be. They're raw. I mean, our first podcast we did a few takes. We finally just said, screw it. We're gonna do it, and just no cussing. Let's keep the cussing down, and so we did it. Well, it's funny. Then he's out in the community, and 5 or 10 people said, "Hey, what's on your podcast Monday?" And then, Andrew's doing a presentation at the local chamber, and all of a sudden Andrew points over and says, some people are doing their own podcast. And wait a minute, you said social media. You have to do social media. Well, then he comes to me, and we were at another function out in the community. It was a Springfield Chamber event. It was a Rise event for the youth.
Yeah.
And comments came up. 15 people asked, "What's on your podcast on Monday?"
Nice.
It wasn't me that said
it. It wasn't Cress, but because Cress is an innovative thinker. We come up with some crazy things. But so he comes in the next day. He says, "I got to eat crow. I'm eating crow." I just thought it was the dumbest thing, but it's great. So now he basically holds the phone for us and kind of records it for right now until we get like you. But yeah, so we wanted to once again think outside the box.
Yeah.
What's our competitors not doing? What do people want to hear? How can we showcase some of our customers that we've saved them money and we've made a difference in their lives and their business? So we're open just about anything, We're in a position now where we moved over. We're our 5th year in our building. We went from 1 loading dock to 3 loading docks, and we're in position now where we'll probably have to be thinking about long range of adding on. Beautiful.
You guys own the land next to the building? Nice.
Yep. Yeah,
That's nice.
Awesome. His family's got some of the ground next to us, but we can add further out towards Stanford if we needed to be. That's just something that has to be thought about. But eventually, because
you guys have some nice events there for the.
Well,
I'm like, man, they always got it set up.
We do.
Actually, was it your mom then or was that a supplier that I won those Cardinal tickets from? Was that a supplier?
That was a supplier.
Okay.
But his mom was there at the event. The whole family was at the event.
That was awesome. So
it takes a lot to do those, though. We got to thank the staff and the warehouse.
It takes money and time.
It does take money. It takes time. So we'll probably scale back a little bit this year on those, but. We wanted to let people know in the community that if the people don't know the Maddoxes, which a lot of people know the Maddox family, but we want to show people that we are here. We get some other executives in are like, wow, I didn't know you sold that. Mm-hmm. And most people say to us, that's the cleanest warehouse we've seen. Yeah, we take pride in that. We do take pride in that. We really do.
It's cool.
So
it's a nice spot. Yeah, that was perfect timing. So those tickets wanted at the event there. I think it was a local first event.
Yeah, we had one in April.
My wife was pregnant, so I took her, and that was like our last date before having our last child. Yeah,
that's cool.
It was like one last date here before we got the new baby. So yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Last date.
Yeah, before those.
That's
it. No more.
No more. Yeah.
Not anymore. We got 3 kids.
That was the last.
I'll tell you what, it's hard as hell to get a babysitter for 3 kids, 3 and under.
I bet it is.
But no, we get to sneak off sometimes. It gets harder, it seems like.
Well, I got a 13-year-old that's looking
there you go.
Make some money. So
there you go.
Yeah.
She'll probably never want to come back again. We got a couple girls that live across the street from us that have babysit before, and I'm like, you always got to send both of them over because they're like sisters, like a year apart. But no, it's been fun. That was nice to have those events and get people in there to see the place. I think we're gonna try to do some more this year. We did a grand opening last year that was really big, and we had a couple bands, and went up and did the whole 9 yards on that, and it was a good time. So people are already asking me, they're like, are you doing another party this year? No. And I'm like, I don't know, that's pretty expensive, but we'll see what we can do.
We heard that too. I mean, doing the Greater Springfield Chamber of Commerce event, the business after hours last year, that was towards the fall. That was another great event. So once again, we're trying to get out there. We did the Shoes and Brews with the Greater Springfield Chamber of Commerce. That was a great event.
Yeah, you guys had a good setup there.
Had a good setup.
Brought everything out there. I was like, damn, they got machines and everything going on.
All the toys. We're just waiting for somebody to spill something. So
I just got a table cover. And
Well, we actually just got our table cover, so that was a little better for us. But you have to have exposure out there. You're building your brand. You want people to know who you are.
Yeah.
And what we always look at is what are we doing differently than what the competition's doing, and what can we do better?
Yeah.
That's what we're always looking at. So yeah, we want to do those types of things, and it's good to hear people talk about it. And we do appreciate you coming, and the people that did come, and all the people that supported it, from our manufacturers to giving us tickets so you could win to go on your last day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The
I feel like Springfield's a good town too, because it's like small enough where those things are important to do at these events and be at these events, but it's big enough that there's like quite a few businesses and there's some good economic activity going on, and it's kind of an interesting sized town, I guess. It's like that right there. So once you get to like Chicago, it's like, what am I doing? A local first event? What am I doing here? It's like local block.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Well, your $3,000 food budget just went to 30.
Yeah, exactly. I can't imagine being a small business trying to do anything in a giant city like that.
But it's nice to be able to do that. Then you can use local vendors, reach out to your local vendors, use your local people, and it just affects a lot of people. It really does. Like we will scale down this year on what we're doing just to focus on with the website, e-commerce site coming out, and just keeping current staff situated and happy, and and keeping our sales growing the way going the way they need to grow and go, I should say. And just not play it safe, but just be cautious. Be cautious.
How about from a marketing perspective? What else have you seen that works really well for you? Anything specific? I know you guys do a lot on social media and in general, just getting out and stuff like that. Anything else you've seen that's been successful for you?
Our sell sheets, I guess if you look at marketing, our sell sheets, handouts, our manufacturers will create anything for us if we need it.
Nice.
And most likely, most of the manufacturers have it on the website. So but people want to feel in touch. So if there's cases that we may not have a machine, a floor machine that they want, the guys do have marketing materials that we can have it customized just for us or for the salesperson.
Cool.
Cress uses a lot of that, and then he can take that out. So
I think getting people around and doing live stuff
demos,
too. Demos where they can touch it, they can feel it, they can see it. And you get a group of people, and one person's like, "Oh yeah, I have one of these. I love it." And they start talking and kind of selling for you. You just kind of sit
back up and like, "Oh, I'm here.
Yep.
Here's
whatever you guys." Yeah, I think that's a good way to do it. It makes people confident and comfortable with you and the products.
Well, then
that's a good point.
University thing then might work out well in that respect.
I think that will help. I had a salesman that was he's no longer with us, but he wanted to take a machine out for a demo, and he didn't know a whole lot about the machine. I wasn't too concerned because he had, once again, the marketing piece that would pretty much tell you that it's such and such tank, it's going to run this long on the battery, it's going to clean this much floor. He takes we drop the machine off for him. He goes there, he comes back, said, "Did you sell it?" And he goes, "Yep, sold it." I said, "What'd you say?" He said, "Nothing." They turned the machine on, they ran it, and they bought it.
Nice.
So we always joked about him, and if he'll hear this eventually, that he was the guy that could sell without talking.
It's a Jedi.
There it is.
But,
here's your piece of paper to look.
But that marketing piece and like Cress said, the live demo made a world of difference because people do want to feel in touch for that amount of money.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at an auto scrubber on a piece of paper and you see, let's say it costs $4,500, you're like, okay, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if I can
maybe means no,
that.
So,
right.
But when you come here and you put the auto scrubber and all of a sudden we clean your floor in 10 minutes, you go, well, that's way easier than the way I've been doing it.
Yeah.
And it's cleaner, and all this dirt that you just scrubbed off the floor, we actually dumped out of the building, and now it's not just spread all over. Then you can see it and really see it working to where they're like, oh, shit, I need one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a local restaurant.
Interesting.
Local restaurant was spending an hour on mopping the floors. Floors were sticky. Spent an hour.
Stunk.
I hate when a place has sticky
When
floors.
you see the guy mopping the bathroom and then come out to the living area.
Spreading the soil all around. We dropped the machine off, called the same day and bought it.
Wow.
Not only did we cut labor costs down, got his floors cleaned, probably wasn't using the right chemical in the first place or maybe too much of it, but that's what, once
Dropped
again.
it off from just to test it.
Yep, and we don't do that a lot because, then they end up cleaning their facility and they don't need to buy it.
Yeah.
But we felt we had a good relationship and we felt
Trust that it was a good opportunity
we
to
did,
do it.
and, whether we sold it or not, it was still a good opportunity. And once again, to show that we think a little bit more on the educational side to help you out. But that was, a demo. So that's why we feel these universities are going to be good because the people that come to this are
Film them.
We will. They'll be the end users and they'll actually get to see or touch. And that is the hope that, hey, wow, this was great. I need one of them, boss. Or boss says we need some of them. Mm-hmm. And so we're looking forward to that.
You get a bunch of custodians at a college or something saying, we want that, we want that, we want that. Usually they get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that's the thing, I think, going back to efficiency is if you can clean this, and no one likes scrubbing stairs or doing certain things. Well, there's a piece of equipment that they can clean stairs with now because it's easy.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's easy and it's efficient, so they'll do it. So if you give them the correct tools that makes it easy and efficient, most likely they're going to do it. If it's pain in the butt and it's hard, they're probably not going to do it.
Do you got anything that wipes kids' asses?
Well, my 13-year-old daughter, like I said, is looking for money.
Well, I'm sure we have something. But.
Yeah.
No. Well, what? Anything else you guys want to hit on? I mean, geez, we freaking knocked it out.
I think we
can go anywhere.
What else is going on? Anything coming up? Anything exciting? I know you got the university stuff. You'll probably be reaching out to your clients about that, letting them know.
Yeah,
what's
already
going
have.
on.
We haven't focused past March right now because we're focusing on March. But you'll see that'll be blasted out as much as we can. Really, the biggest thing that we really need to focus on right now is the e-commerce site.
Yeah.
So that's where we really need to get that message out. We will have some marketing material for that. The launch is coming, and that's big. That's really big.
That'd be cool. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, we're really excited too. So, but that's really probably the biggest thing that we should really focus on right now because it's been a long time, a lot of work, a lot of behind-the-scenes work.
Do you have an official launch date yet?
April 1st.
April 1st.
Now, it could be sooner than that, but we know for sure it's going live April 1st. Whether I'm missing a hand or a finger.
April Fool's Day. Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, that's what Cress said today. I said, I never thought of that, but no. It
should
actually
go off without a hitch.
But it's amazing.
Hey, then, at least you got something to say if there's a problem.
Yeah.
We were kidding yesterday.
But you don't really, I think maybe you do, but you don't realize that to drag and get content and then to put the content into a form that they need to pull it in to the e-commerce site, it just floored me. It just never thought that it would take this long, it to me that just shocked me that there's no matter what anybody says, it was a lot of time put into it by many people, and little things like dashes that we put in, and all of a sudden, well, you can't have that dash in there, even though the SKU number for the manufacturer's down to that, So it's believe me, it's
or you mess up the consistency of naming or something.
Well, and then here's the other thing. Since we've been doing this, we've had 1,463,000 exaggeration cost increases. Price increases.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, go back.
It's crazy. So that's something we didn't really touch on, but we're dealing with price increases every day. It's controlled by petroleum and the stuff we sell. We tend to talk a lot about chemicals and all that, but on the box side, on the packaging side, that's a lot of dictation by when you look at your resins, your films, and that's all dictated by petroleum and costs like that. So then you look at that, and you just got to quit thinking about it. The website's coming out, and then it'll link with our current system that we use in our industry. So it'll pick up what their prices are, and then maybe some of the new customers, it might scare them a little bit, but that's where we just got to touch them. It's pretty cool. We're excited. Like I say, we're excited because there's going to be a lot of things like, Andrew was in the cart today, but he didn't buy it. Now we know. Now we know what Andrew's looking at.
Yep, retarget him, baby.
Yep, there we go. So
that's what I was telling you at that event. I was like, man, basically it's just an equation. Like, how much advertising money do I have to spend to get one sale? What's that sale worth on average? And then you just do the math if it makes sense. That's why anytime we can work with somebody that has an online store, it just makes it so much more efficient.
Yeah,
like
we could show them like you're getting a sale here.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times, like we show people the statistics. Yeah, you got tens of thousands of views. You've reached hundreds of thousands of people, whatever. But they're like, well, how do I know that that's a sale? And I'm like, well, you don't sell on your website. I can't track it perfectly.
Yeah. But it's all about the return on investment. We know that anything we do, I mean, we try to look at that, we really do. So.
Yeah.
But that's probably really, the biggest thing for us. And, I think we covered a lot. Obviously we appreciate the opportunity to sit here with you and talk about who we are.
So is it safe to say Masco is bigger than the other business now?
No.
Really?
No. It's maintenance supplies. I think there's over 110 employees, maybe.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they clean roughly 1 million square feet of floor a night.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
crazy.
So no, there are when we say they're our sister company, but they're our mama company. So we try to talk about it a lot because they're it's once again we're family. We're there for a reason. But we talk about maintenance supply, how you can utilize their services as well. But no,
we work together. Like I try, like if I'm
we
out
do.
and talk to somebody that needs cleaning, then I just send it to them.
Absolutely.
And they get the cleaning contract. Well, then they buy the products from us.
Yeah.
And she's got a very good staff, very very good structured staff, and from the window cleaning time to all the floor cleaning, everything that they do. It's broad. It's
crazy how fast they clean windows.
Yep.
I mean, they come to people's houses and people are like, "That's it to clean." I mean, these guys are good.
We probably should tell. We had a manufacturing rep come in one time with window cleaning equipment, and he's from Chicago, and he's a good dear friend, and so we got window cleaning guys, and one particular been there 20 years, and he's a pro, and so he's coming in there. He's going to demo this piece of equipment to the window guys.
Just tear them apart.
And oh my God! It first of all, it fell apart. It was epic failure. And he left with his tail went back to Chicago, because I'm like, you can't teach these guys that already know and what works for them. But it was funny. But those are things that we do as well.
Yeah.
You
ever see the window cleaning TikToks?
I don't think I have.
Millions of views, man. People drawing pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Doing BMW logos, and it's crazy. I can't believe how popular those are.
Yeah.
I was like, I never thought window cleaning would be so damn popular, but it's that weird stuff, man. Like,
I think they enjoy
just
it.
rolling out fucking toilet paper across the floor, cleaning, doing something on the floor. Cleaning a floor demo. Like, if it cleans it where it's like completely different, like
That's
the satisfying factor that people love, man. It's crazy.
And if it doesn't, you blame it on something else.
Yeah. Don't post it.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
So, well, all right. Final question. What's the most challenging aspect of everything you guys do over there in the Masco business?
We both probably can answer. What do you think the most challenging is from your side?
For me would be time management with kids, sports, family, and work. It's pretty tough. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you got volleyball practices that start at 3:30, or soccer practice in Bloomington is at 4. I mean, it's work hours not even. The work day is not even over. So there's just a lot going on. So when with 4 kids, I mean, it is tough to stay up with everything. It's a juggling act, as you'll see here in the next few years. You're gonna be with T-ball starting. It gets tough, and that's where Jeff helps me out a ton. I'll send him stuff and say, hey, can you do this for me? And he next morning will have it done, or he'll have me an answer. So we kind of ham and egg it pretty good. Yeah,
we do work together.
That's probably the toughest for me, is the time management with everything going on.
I mean, time management in general. I mean, you think you're good at time management, but we look at a perspective as a general manager is when you have salespeople and you have a team and then you have your own responsibilities, sometimes it is hard to juggle, and some things do get put aside, and you do have to refocus on that. When people want a price, they want a quote. When a salesman needs a quote, they want it fast. And sometimes it's a challenge because we're not 100% perfect, and all of a sudden, oh gosh, he called, he needed that, she needed this, he needs this,
and you don't ever hear when it's good.
You don't. You don't.
When it's bad.
But
so
I
when
think
it's bad, you're like, fuck, you dropped the ball. My fault, man.
I just had somebody ask for a website, and they wanted it done like crazy fast
tomorrow.
And I was like, we've never done a website that fast. I was like, I could probably get it done, but 1, I'm going to have to do it. And 2, I'm going to have to work in some costs to take my family on a little vacation, because they're going to be pissed at me that I wasn't around for the next 5 days. So I was joking around about that. But, yeah, no, it's time management's tough. It's important, but it's easy to wait. Like, there's little things. It's easy to get pulled away from something. I mean, here all the time, like, I even was telling my wife, I was like, man, I feel like I almost need to schedule one day at home a week, because like when I'm in here, I'm always getting like pulled away or like questions or something, and I'm like, I just got to bang this shit out.
Yep. I agree.
So I've kind of thought about doing that at some point too.
When you get done, you want to go spend time with your kids.
Yeah,
family.
You want to be done with it.
It's like I don't want to go work. I want to spend time with them and hang out with them and see how their day was. And I mean, I think that's extremely important. Obviously, I've got 4 kids.
That's what I've been trying to do, is come in at 5:30, 6 in the morning, work for an hour or 2 hours before everyone comes in, and really just try to stay focused and get back in line. You know, sometimes that's hard, but
that's what I was going to do this morning, until my daughter was all of a sudden in our bed at like 1 in the morning, kicking me in the head. It's like, God, what is going on? What are you doing down here? So yeah, that was a fun night. But I got in by 8:30 still. Just not the 6 o'clock I was planning on.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, it was awesome having you guys on. What is the website?
MascoPackaging.com.
There it is. April 1st.
MascoPackaging.com.
Coming soon, baby.
Yeah.
Order online.
No
right.
joke.
Buy local.
That's right. Shop local.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Right on. Thanks.
Appreciate it.